Welcome into another edition of the Voice of Camp Nathaniel. On the campus of Camp Nathaniel, this is Lee Sharp.
And this is Austin Rafferty.
And you'll hear me throughout most of at least the next three podcasts. I brought in Austin to help with some introductions and some intros and some outros for these episodes. We did something special where we had a lot of extra people on campus, and I guess the next few episodes are going to be a series of interviews. I've got 10 different, I guess, college age, and they're not all in college, though.
No, they're not. They are participants of our third annual college retreat, and that's for college.
So 18,
aged,
so graduate
18,
high school, so 18 all the way up to
25 years old. 25.
And the reason that I brought them in is there are I guess I wanted to explain it to somebody because it was a big concept in my head, and I wanted to interview these. We have 10 different individuals. Some of them are interviewing together. On each episode, I think we've got at least 3 or 4 people that we're talking to. On this first episode, I think we've got 3. The one that comes out on the first will have another 3, and then the last one has 4. And the reason that I brought them in is they are all in a stage of life there's a lot of transition that's happening.
Yep.
They've graduated high school. Some of them are going to college. Some of them are jumping straight into work. Some of them jump straight into the mission field. But there's a lot of people, there's a lot of negative talk, if that makes sense, surrounding the younger generation.
Yeah.
And it's not always great, to where you hear too many stories about kids who they grew up in church and their parents brought them to church, and then the moment that they left mom and dad's house, they left the church with it and want nothing to do with it. And the more stories that I hear about that, I stop and I think, and I go, wait a minute, I know plenty of people that is not their story. Yeah. They did not abandon Jesus. They still love Jesus and are following him. And they are doing that in a lot of different ways, which as you listen to these interviews, you'll catch on to, because there are people who I interview. Some of them are in college right now. Some of them are graduated from college. They've gotten masters. Some of them are jumped straight into the workforce. Some of them went to cosmetology school.
Some are getting married here shortly.
Some of them are getting married shortly. Yeah, some of them are like lots of different stories. And the beauty behind that is that following Jesus does not mean that I am going to end up in this one particular field.
Yeah.
And what I want people to hear is I want them to hear the stories of people who are doing a lot of very different things, and all of them love the Lord and are wanting to follow his commandments and follow him and share him with the people that are around them. And one of the big questions that I asked everybody in the interview was, what church are they plugged into?
Oh, sweet.
Mostly because it is so vital.
Yeah.
And a few of them, I asked them why they were involved in church, like what benefit are they getting out of church? And the community that you have to surround you, who you surround yourself with, is very, very important.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
And the idea of, all of those kids, as soon as they graduate high school, sure, they were in the youth program or stuff like that. And the moment they get out into the world, everybody goes wild and they throw church to the side. And these are a lot of stories where that's not what happened. These are kids who, when they met Jesus, Jesus radically changed who they were. And he is still actively working on them.
Yeah, and I've seen the list. I know who all has been interviewed, and I know all of these kids very well. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I'm excited because I've seen part of their story and seen like how God is using them in just some big ways right now.
The other common thread between a lot of these kids, I say kids. They're not kids anymore. They are adults. Yeah. They can go vote. So I should probably change my language. These adults that I interviewed, a lot of them have connections to camp. Some of them grew up at camp. Some of them have been around camp for their entire life. Some of them, it's only been a year, and they have come and been pulled in by other people who were working on a weekend and they came in, they did some work. So all of these people have a connection to Camp Nathaniel, a previous connection to Camp Nathaniel, and we get a little bit of those stories as well. It was a lot of fun. Some of these are really quick interviews. Some of them are just 5 minutes long. Some of them are a little bit longer than that. So we hope you enjoy that. So take some time, enjoy some of the different stories. At the end of each podcast, we'll tell you about some events that are coming up here at camp, and it's really cool to hear some of their stories.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun getting to sit down and talk with them. I had a lot of fun today. I hope they did too. So shout out to all of the people who jumped in actually, I'll go on and list them off. I've got Ashley and Corey and Ellie. I've got Aaron and Brenna. I've got Izzy. I've got Corinne, Arrow, Mandy, and Emmy. So over the next few episodes here, feel free, shout out to them and all of the people that I know that they didn't just come all by themselves. I know that there are parents who poured into them. I know that there are coworkers and people who are going to church with them and friends that are connected that are encouraging them on their walk. It's a lot of fun to hear their stories though. So let's jump into the first interview.
Let's go.
All right. I've got a couple of new guests here in the studio, hanging back in the radio room. A couple of new people. Y'all want to introduce yourselves? I got 2 new people in here at this point.
Hello. I'm Aaron Barnes.
It's Aaron.
And I am Brenna Gibbs.
It's Brenna. First, starting off, where are you all from originally?
I am originally from Scappoose, Oregon. My mom's family is out there, and then we moved down to Kentucky a few years ago. She's moved back now, but I stayed here.
All right, one more time, the city name there.
Scappoose. I can spell it if you need me to.
Hello to the people of Scappoose. If you are listening to this and you are from Scappoose, please let me know, because we never know. We get people who listen in. We never know. You know what I mean? They're just numbers. Mm-hmm. I know that those numbers represent actual people, though. And so if you're listening to this and you're actually from Scappoose, please let me know, because I want to talk to more people, because that's a fun name of a city. All right, Aaron, where are you from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, but I moved to Frankfort, Kentucky before I ended up going to college up here.
Gotcha. And you're both in college, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same college, or is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Jinx.
So which college we got here?
University of the Cumberlands.
Cumberlands.
Yep, same here.
Lots of Cumberlands people. Shout out to all the Cumberlands people. Being an alumni, I got to say hi to everybody. But I think I said it when I was talking to somebody else. Everybody that I was friends with at Cumberlands now works in the administration or teaches now. So, which dates me. All the things. So, with everybody that we've been bringing in, been asking, so connections to camp. Where do you have the quick story? How did you get connected to camp?
Yeah, for sure. So I came here after getting to know quite a few people who have worked here, including Aaron and Corey and Ellie.
Gotcha.
And so they drugged me here, partially against my will, for the college retreat last year.
Okay.
And so I've been involved with camp for a year now, this weekend. And I worked a few overnights in the spring, and then I worked the entire summer.
I was going to say, you came out and hung out the whole summer.
Yes, I did. It was lots of fun. I loved it.
All right, Aaron, what's the story?
I came here as a camper, I think I was around 13. And so I was a camper here for 4 or 5 years, and then I've worked the past 4 summers here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so at Cumberlands, we've been asking everybody what church you got involved in around the area, and then what ministries you've been in. So that might be something serving at the church, or getting involved in some of the groups that are at that church, or even campus ministries. So what stories y'all got now?
We go to Cornerstone in Williamsburg. It's right near the campus.
Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
A few minute walk down the road.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a really good church, and they have a good bit of opportunity to serve. I haven't been able to because of my schedule this year, but
that's okay. You can give us past stories too.
Yeah. Well, this year I've been involved in lots of groups, and that's part of the reason I can't serve as much, is because I'm being poured into. But yeah, we're doing family group, and then we're doing a soon to be married group and stuff. That's really fun, really good. We got our second week this Sunday. But yeah, last year I was able to do campus ministries, and like Appalachian Ministries and stuff, and
Okay.
help serve with the kids there. It's a lot of
Gotcha.
fun.
So what do family groups look like?
So it's basically like a small group in the church where we can just kind of discuss the sermon and dive deeper into it, which is really good because I always come out of it having questions, and I have people that can help me answer those questions.
Gotcha. Kind of the follow-up after the sermon there,
Yeah.
which is always good to have.
Mm.
All right, Brenna.
Yeah, so I'm also at Cornerstone Community Church in Williamsburg. I love it. I've been going there for almost 5 years now because as soon as my family moved to the area, we picked that church. I help lead the worship team on occasion as well as in children's ministries, mostly nursery. And
So on the worship team, what are you doing with the... Are you
I
singing? Are you
mostly
playing
sing.
instruments?
I have not
I'm just
played.
curious now.
I haven't played yet.
Okay.
We're working that part out. But yeah, I mostly sing.
I am
right
not a
now.
musical person, so I think it's fascinating to hear, like, what does that look like? Because I don't have a clue.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. It's a really good opportunity. They because we're mostly a college student church, because we're very close to campus, they try to give as many opportunities for college students to serve. And so they make it, they just give a lot of opportunities and not make it easy to serve, but make it easy to get connected.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah. And so I'm also in a family group as well, a different one than Aaron, but they're wonderful. I love that we have intergenerational groups. So there's a lady in my church, or in my group that's probably like 60, and then we've got little kids that are running around like crazy. So it's really sweet to get to learn from all ages.
So that's the next question that I was going to ask is why the family groups? Like, why do you think that would be important for somebody who's in your all's position? Because, I mean, I've talked, if you've been listening to you've been listening to the podcast if you've got to this point here. But this is a time when a lot of people are in a lot of transition. There's lots of moving parts. People are moving around, and church kind of falls off the radar a lot of times. And where you both are involved and getting involved in the music and these family groups, not small groups, family groups.
Family groups, yeah.
I keep thinking small groups, but it's family groups. Why do you think family groups are so important? Like, what are you getting out of the family group that you're like, man, I wouldn't get this from anywhere else?
Yeah, I think part of it is, like she mentioned, the intergenerational part of it, because we are surrounded by a ton of people our age, and it's different to have an older believer in the church that can talk through things with you and minister to you rather than just a professor. So there's a little more of a personal relationship there.
Gotcha.
So I'd say that's probably the biggest part for me.
Very cool.
Yeah. And it's also a really good opportunity to, if you weren't raised in a Christian household, to see how good Christian families, like obviously not perfect, but to see how they raise their kids. And like if you're doing life with someone once a week for the entire school year, like you can't hide everything. So you're going to see your pastor get mad at their kid, but you're going to see how they love them in that. And I think that's really sweet.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for coming by and sharing some stories. We're going to have a few more people for this episode here, and depending on how many people I get, I might actually have a couple of episodes. We may have to split it up just because it'll get too long. So, guys, thank you all for jumping in.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, I've got another guest in the studio here. I've got Izzy.
Hi.
Or
This is Izzy Stocking, but I say
was like,
most
is this
people
the
call
official
me.
name?
My official name is
Okay.
Isabella, but a lot of people from camp know me as Izzy. Most people at like work or family know me as Isabella, though.
Isabella. So it depends on who's listening at this point.
Yeah, it really does. So if you don't know me, it's Isabella Stocking, aka Izzy Stocking.
If you've been to camp over the past few years, you've been here for a little bit.
Yeah,
You've come to camp a few times.
Oh yeah.
So what's the story there? How did you get plugged into camp?
So my mom grew up coming to camp as
Gotcha.
she did like the verses and everything.
Yeah.
I think she did the Free for Life camp.
Gotcha.
But then we live in Richmond now, so
Okay.
I didn't get that opportunity. So
But she wanted to send you to camp.
absolutely, like my little brother comes to camp now too. He'll be at the 8th grade one this year.
There you
so
go. So shout out to the parents.
Shout out, Mom.
We appreciate, I say this as the full-time guy, we appreciate when parents go, you know what, camp was a lot of fun when I was a kid. I'm going to make sure my kids end up there.
Absolutely. And I'm very grateful that she did because I love it here. It's honestly like second home from home.
Very cool. So how many years have you come to camp? Now I'm
camper,
digging into the stories now.
I went for 6 years.
Okay.
I would have done 7, but obviously COVID threw a wrench in everything.
That threw a wrench in everybody's plans.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone's life just went to chaos. We'll ignore those couple of years there.
Yeah, yeah. But 6 years, I got my 6-year patch and everything. So
there you go.
Pretty cool.
And so you came to camp, graduated high school.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happened after high school?
After high school, I continued to just work, and I have not gone to college. But I've had thoughts of going to either community college or doing online classes. Gotcha. I haven't fully committed yet, but
yeah, no. We all have different phases of life that we go through, and there are points where you got to get to work because there's stuff's got to get done.
Oh, yeah.
So, been asking everybody who's been coming in, 1, church you got plugged into, and then 2, if you've gotten involved in any ministries like at that church or even outside of that. I've been getting any of the stories of ministry involvement because that's what we're being curious about in this podcast. So
yeah, I go to Waco Baptist Church, and I am involved in there's a young adults class, so I am within that class
Gotcha.
Being taught, but even the teachers are young adults, so we're all kind of learning from each other.
Very cool.
But then I also do children's church ministries on Sunday mornings, depending on when they need me, and that's about twice a month.
Yeah. So what does that look like now? Children's church? Because sometimes people they're like, oh yeah, children's church, but like for some people, you know exactly what I can know exactly what you're talking about. For other people, that is a completely foreign concept. What do you mean by children's church? Like we got to explain our church terms here.
So for children's church, on Sunday mornings, we have Sunday school and then our worship service. And during the worship service, if I'm doing children's church and scheduled, I'm usually doing the K through 2nd group. And that's the time that they're trying to transition those kids to sit in the sermon and everything.
Gotcha.
So those K through 2nd kids, they get dismissed after worship. And so we sing all our songs, do our prayer, announcements and everything, and then they get dismissed to the back, and we do like our, I guess, kids' sermon for the day.
Yeah.
It usually goes along with their Sunday school.
Gotcha.
I'm not really sure what they're in right now because it's been a couple weeks, but
it's getting the stories and being able to break them down to where kids can understand.
Oh, absolutely.
And I say this as I have children that are in the K through 2nd. You got to sit and you got to kind of work through it with them.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a lot of questions that sometimes.
Too many sometimes.
And sometimes you get surprised. I don't know if you've had this moment where like you get surprised by the question because you're like, I was not prepared to go this deep into a theological issue with a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And yet here we are having a conversation about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, literally.
And we gotta figure this out together because it's like, whoa, wait, hold on, pause. I have to think about that for a moment.
Yeah. Some of those kids are absolutely like smart. Mm-hmm. So like they are so smart. They retain so much information. Sometimes they decide to be a little dumb, but that's just how kids are. I mean, I'm the same way.
We act goofy sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the times, they'll add on because, like I said, the story during children's church goes along with their Sunday school usually.
Gotcha.
So, we just kind of go in depth a little bit more with that.
And I think sometimes and this is a plug just for children's ministry in general. But I think a lot of times people will get in their heads that they think that children's ministry is simple. And what I absolutely love, and this is what I think kind of messes with people, is that you can learn about God. This is what we would call theology. And we get in our head these big, complicated things about God.
Yes.
And then when you have to sit down and explain it to a 6-year-old, all of a sudden I don't know if you've had this. I've had moments where I pause and I'm like, I don't know if I need to sit down and think about this more. Like, I need to sit down and pray and process this a little bit more, because I thought I understood something until I had to sit down and break it apart for a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And it forces these like deep theological issues. And you're like, all right, we need to talk about salvation.
Oh, yeah.
Or, we need to talk about the love of God. And you're like, oh, of course I understand those things. And you're like, okay, I need you to explain it to a very young child. And you're like, maybe I don't know.
Sometimes it's easier to know about something than it is to explain it. That's why, like, even in schools, like teachers, like, only certain people are good teachers because they understand it and can explain it well. And so sometimes it's a little bit tricky to be a teacher for these kids, even at a young age. But thankfully, usually I have an older, lady from the church that comes help, that we do it together.
Gotcha.
And so if I can't explain something, she usually does, and I'm learning stuff with these 6 and 7-year-old kids.
Tag teams there, yeah.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, thank you for coming in today. I'm going to keep doing a few more interviews. We'll see if this takes one podcast or it might actually. I think we're bleeding into a second podcast here. We'll see how we split it up here at the end.
All right.
But thanks, Izzy, for jumping in.
Have a great day.
Yep. All right. Now that we've finished up a few more interviews there, we've got some events happening here at camp. Let's see. This is the April
1st.
It's the April 1st. We promise the events that we are about to talk about are not April Fool's jokes.
No. What who did name the interviewees today? I got to know.
Okay. So I did all these interviews all at once. So today's would have been Aaron and Brenna and Izzy.
Perfect. I love it.
For the April
April Fools.
The April Fools episode there. We promise, guys, we're not making jokes. We just think it's funny that it happens to coincide on April 1st.
I love those three too. They're awesome.
So events that we've got coming up here at camp. One, on April 10th through the 11th, we have a women's retreat. This is an overnight event. There is a cost to it. I do not remember the cost off the top of my head, mostly because I am not on the committee for planning all of the women's events.
My wife is running that committee, or working on that committee. She's actually chairing it up, and so I probably should know, and I'm not on it.
I know that they've got a lot of good food they're going to be having. I know they're bringing in a lot of speakers. They've probably got some really fun events planned. So all of that to say, it's going to be a ton of fun. If you are listening to this and you're like, that sounds like a lot of fun, I want to get involved with that, you are welcome to it. If you are a pastor listening to this and you think that would be really great for the women in my congregation, please let them know. Get people signed up. We are A-OK with churches loading vans up and driving people over. It helps save on a lot of gas, and it helps get more people connected. And that's the reason that we're doing a lot of these events, is to help, at least in this instance here, it's helping the women in our area that are in those churches be able to connect to each other and build that community. To know that they've got each other's back, that there are other people that are in this fight with you. Following that up, we've got a men's event. And this is a men's day happening on April 18th. We're going to be probably throwing axes and doing a bunch of man stuff like that.
Shooting guns.
Yeah, all those.
Eating meat.
All those. Well, I think this year for the men's event, we're focusing in on wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
And how that is passed down from generation to generation. And so again, if you're a guy and that sounds like a ton of fun, consider this your official invite, and hop on to campnathaniel.org. That's where you can get registered for both of these events. And again, we like you to register because we like to know, well, especially for the women's event, how many beds do we need to have made up? Yep. And for the men's event, we need to know how much food are we prepping right now? Because we want to make sure that absolutely nobody goes home hungry. So we want to get those events out there. We've also got the senior citizen luncheons. Those happen each year. They're happening on Tuesday, April 21st, and Thursday, the 23rd. And for that, you pick one of those days there. They're going to be the same program on both days. And this is for all of the senior citizens in the area. We know that for this event, this is where we have a ton of different senior citizen like homes. Yep. Where they will load up vans full of people and come in. So if you were listening to this and you are working at one of those senior citizen centers and you are not, and you don't know if you're signed up, by all means, today is the day to get that information in. We'll probably sent some mailers out by this point. So if you haven't got that information yet and you're wanting to, give us a call at 606-251-3231. And the other way to sign up is to get onto campnathaniel.org and look under the, I think it's the Adults and Families tab. There'll probably be some information on signing up there as well. Yeah, so
those events are really fun. I mean, the participants, the hosts, the people that are organizing those and bringing a group of senior citizens to our events, everybody's going to have a good time.
It's a big lunch.
It's fun.
We eat a lot of food at lunch, and then we've got some speakers in, and this is where we get a ton of stories where a lot of the people that are coming were campers back when they were kids, and so you get all the fun stories about all the goofy things that people used to do and have fun at camp. So, and people giving their life to Jesus at Hilltop, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a wonderful community. It's a community opportunity, and we just encourage you. If you haven't already signed up, get your group here. It's a lot of fun.
The other thing to be planning for, because we're about a month out from this point here, is our married couples retreat.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are listening to this, it is happening on May 1st through the 2nd. Again, that is an overnight event there. The sign up for that is at campnathaniel.org. I believe it's $100 for the whole weekend. It is a ton of the food at camp is always good.
Yep.
Married couples retreat, the food is on a whole nother level. And so for that sort of retreat and getaway, it is a ton of fun. It's pouring into your marriage. This is not just for marriages. This is not just be like, oh, well, my marriage is doing fine. I don't need to go to a couples retreat. This is not for marriages that are falling apart. Though if your marriage is falling apart, this is the time to come. If your marriage is doing great, come and be a part of it. Because one, we can always improve. Yep. And two, it may be that when you come, if you're like, hey, we've been married for 50 years. We've got people coming that have been married for less than a year. And those people who have been married for less than a year need to be sitting down at the dinner table and talking with those people who have been married for 50 years. Absolutely. Because that's where they're going to get that wisdom and advice that is tried and true, and is going to hold up for the long haul. So with that, guys.
And it's one of those things too. You got to think $100 is going to get you one meal if you want to take your wife out. You're talking several $100 meals plus a nice place to sleep plus activities. Mm-hmm. Man, think of it like an all-inclusive resort. Come on, guys, talking about brownie points. Here you go. This is a way to do that.
Speaking to the husbands.
That's right, husbands. You hear me.
All right, so guys, we'll get back with you again. We'll let you know about some more events and different things coming up. We've got 2 more interviews with 4 more people that are in the next episode, and we'll get both y'all back on the 15th.
See you then.